The story of fear, jealousy, and faith at the edge of promise. In the book of Numbers, chapter 12 and 13, after Exodus from Egypt, Moses and the children of Israel traveling in the wilderness, they left Mount Sinai.
They camped at Hazeroth. Miriam, Moses' sister, and Aaron, his brother, began to speak against Moses. Their complaint started with his marriage to a Cushite Ethiopian woman, but it quickly revealed deeper jealousy. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us also? They questioned why Moses alone held such unique authority. The Lord heard their words. Suddenly, he called the three siblings, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, to the entrance of the tent of meeting. A pillar of cloud descended, and God spoke directly. He reminded them that while he speaks to other prophets through visions and dreams, with Moses it was different, face to face, clearly, as a faithful servant over all God's house. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? God's anger burned. When the cloud lifted, Miriam was suddenly covered in leprosy, white as snow. Aaron, terrified, pleaded with Moses not to hold their foolish sin against them. Moses, described as the most humble man on earth, immediately cried out to God, "Oh God, please heal her, please!" God replied that Miriam must bear the shame for 7 days outside the camp, like a daughter publicly disciplined by her father. The entire community waited until she was healed and brought back in. Then they moved on to the wilderness of Paran Kadesh. Soon after, at God's command, Moses chose 12 leaders, one from each tribe, to spy out the promised land of Canaan. Among them were Caleb, from Judah, and Hoshea, whom Moses renamed Joshua, from Ephraim. Moses instructed them to explore the land, its people, cities, soil, and fruit, and to bring back samples. The spies traveled for 40 days. They reached the Negev and hill country, even the great city of Hebron. They cut a single cluster of grapes, so enormous it took 2 men to carry it on a pole, along with pomegranates and figs, proof that the land truly flowed with milk and honey. But when they returned, division erupted. 10 of the spies gave a fearful report. The land is indeed flowing with milk and honey, but the people who live there are powerful giants. The cities are fortified and very large. We even saw descendants of Anak there. We felt like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we must have looked to them. Only Caleb and Joshua, who would speak next in chapter 14, silenced the people and urged faith. We should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. The 10 spies spread a bad report that caused the whole community to weep and grumble, wishing they had never left Egypt. Difficulties faced jealousy and family division. Miriam and Aaron, despite their own leadership roles, resented Moses' unique closeness to God and his authority. Fear of the unknown. The spies saw real obstacles, strong people, fortified cities, and giants. But the 10 focused only on the threats, ignoring God's past miracles, Exodus from Egypt, Red Sea, manna, etc., unbelief. Despite evidence, they carried back visible proof of the land's goodness, huge fruit. Yet fear paralyzed them and infected the entire nation. Learning lessons. God defends his chosen servants. Attacking God's appointed leader is ultimately attacking God himself. Humility, like Moses, invites God's favor, while pride and jealousy invite discipline. Speak carefully about others, especially leaders. Words rooted in envy can spread harm quickly, but God hears everything. Faith over fear. Obstacles will always look bigger when we focus on our own strength. We are grasshoppers. True faith remembers God's promises and past faithfulness, declaring we can certainly do it with Him. The power of a good or bad report. 10 spies caused nationwide despair. 2 faithful voices tried to bring courage. Our words can either build faith or spread unbelief. Intercession and mercy. Moses' quick, humble prayer brought healing. God is just but also merciful when we repent. Partial obedience leads to delay. The fear in chapter 13 set up the consequences in chapter 14, 40 years of wandering, showing how unbelief turns a short journey into a long wilderness.